Hi everyone, this is Miss Bustillos from Bristow Middle School, 6th grade, and today we will be using the distributive property. I want you to start with your notes in your notebook. We're on page 33. So you're going to make sure you have your learning target written down. What does distribute mean? We're still focusing on that from our last lesson. So I want to put on there a good understanding of what distribute means, and it means to pass out the same thing to each group. Now, this is our understanding for math, our understanding of distribute for math. Okay, to pass out the same thing to each group. So I want to start with our example from our routine and our discussion that we had, and that was 3 times the sum of 4 and 2. And we had our boxes to go with it. And I want to also show you using the generic rectangle. 3 times the sum of 4 and 2. Make sure you're writing all of these down. So this is our expression, our visual, and our generic rectangle. So let's focus on that visual for just a little bit. So when I say 3, I want to chunk that out, and I want to explain what that 3 means. That 3 is referring to each of these rows. There's 1 group of 3, 2 groups of 3, and 3 groups of 3. 3 groups. So this is our 3 groups. Each group has a different amount. So what's in those groups is what we see here. We have the 4 plus the 2. So we have our 4 in each of the 3 groups, and then our 2 in each of the 3 groups. So when we're looking at it, that's where we get the 4 plus 2. So we've distributed the 3 to the 4 and to the 2 to make a group of 4 plus 2. We distributed the 3 to the 4, and we distributed the 3 to the 2. We're passing it out and giving the same thing to each group. How does that look over here in the generic rectangle? Well, I'm doing 3 times everything on the top. So 3 times 4 and 3 times 2. When we count those groups, we have 3 times 4 is 12, and 3 times 2 is 6. I'm just going to leave it there. I know we can combine the 12 and 6, and I know you're all thinking in your head, oh, I know what the answer to that is, but we're just looking at it so we can look at each of those groups. When I look at this group of 3 and 4 here, there's my 12 and here's my 6. And when I look here, I get 12 and 6. Now let's look at it with an algebraic example. So I want to show you one of the problems on your worksheet. So this is number 3 on your packet if you want to look at it, but I also want you to write it in your notes. And that is 4 times y plus 2. So if I'm looking at it here, I'm going to do y like this. So here's y, and then I'm doing 2 more here. Now I know that I need to do 4 groups of that. I have 1 here. I need to do 4 groups. 2, 3, 4. So I have to make that many more of y because I'm passing or distributing the 4 out to each of those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, y, y, and then our 2. So 4 times the y, boom, 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 boom. Distributed the 4 out to that. There's 4 groups of y. And then 4 times the 2, we distribute that out. 1, 2, 3, 4. When I look at that with the generic rectangle, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 4 times y plus 2. 4 times y is 4y, and 4 times 2, so 4 times y, and then 4 times 2. So now I'm going to go through and I'm going to distribute it on the expression 4 times y plus 4 times 2. And then from here, I'm going to simplify it. So I distributed out by 4, and now I'm going to simplify it to 4y plus 8. So by multiplying those together, I'm simplifying it. So here I have 4y, or 4 groups of y, plus 8. 4y plus 8. Just again, helping you to understand those. Okay, I want you to try now with a couple of problems. 6 times the difference of 4 and x. And you try number 2. 2 times the sum of x and 7. So pause your video right now, and then when you play again, you'll see the answers so you can make sure you're right. Okay, that wraps it up for this page of notes. At the bottom of this page, I want you to put one idea that you got from doing these notes, one thing that you understood. I understand how to ... Fill that in at the bottom of the page.